founder of Pete's Paleo, Le Cordon Bleu trained chef. We're going to give everyone just a little bit of time to get logged in and also to make sure that our connection's good. Can everyone out there hear me? Is the sound working this time? Hello, can you hear me out there? Just giving you guys all a second to get logged in and to make sure that our sound and everything's working. Can everyone hear me? Go ahead and comment. Please let me know if you can hear me. I don't want to speak on mute. Awesome. Okay. So, again, my name's Pete Servold, Le Cordon Bleu trained chef, founder and owner of Pete's Paleo with my lovely wife, and also the author of Paleo Eats, Real Food, Real Simple. This book can be gotten right now for the cost of shipping alone, and you can get the link to get this book in the comment section below. It's a really, really nice collection of very simple, old school recipes like borscht. There's bacon bars, lots of really great recipes, beautiful pictures. Kind of teach you how to do really, really great recipes, but aren't very complicated, super simple stuff like half smoked chicken, the chicken and okra stew. We've got a braised and crispy short ribs with cauliflower and kale. So again, you can get this for just the cost of shipping alone at the link below in the comments section. Today though, we're going to do something a little different. This recipe's not in the book, and it will teach you something about paleo I hope that maybe you didn't know or thought differently about. When you first start learning about paleo and start learning about all the restrictions, I think there's more things that are on the list than not on the list that people don't really consider. And one of them is mayonnaise, and out of mayonnaise comes many dressings and sauces. And I think you look at it and it seems creamy and it's like, okay, that's a dairy, that's not paleo. But mayonnaise at its base is just egg yolks and fat, which is a very, very paleo thing. And there's many sauces that are based on mayonnaise that most people don't know about. Caesar dressing, ranch dressing, Thousand Island, a lot of stuff is based off of mayonnaise. So today I'm going to show you how to make a paleo mayo, and then I'm going to show you how to make a bacon ranch dressing from that mayonnaise, as well as a Thousand Island dressing. So the first thing that we're going to do is we've got to separate our egg yolks from our whites. Use a couple eggs here. Going to drop that. I'm using a very small container, this coffee cup, because I'm going to blend the yolks with a stick blender, and to get the stick blender to work and to puree the egg yolks like I need it to, you need a very small area that it's in. You can do this in a Roku, but I find that the stick blenders work best. Let's do one more egg. So egg yolks are the best binder, the best filler. They hold everything together, and they're going to be the basis for a lot of your, there's a reason why they're used in baking and cooking and a million things. The egg yolk is the binder that's going to hold the mayonnaise together and hold the fat in suspension and take something that's liquid like avocado oil and turn it into a thick mayonnaise. To be able to do that, it has to have a ton of air in it. And so the first thing you do is you whip air into the egg yolks. If you can look, you can see how bright yellow, almost orangish that egg yolks are when they start. You're going to make it almost like a frothy white color. Get a little bigger cup to do this in. Thanks to our Paleo Treat peeps, I've got a different cup that'll work a little bit better. See, it's going from dark orange and it's getting lighter and lighter. You don't want to start adding the fat before it's completely whipped into shape, otherwise it won't hold. See, it starts to thicken up for you, and it's getting lighter and lighter. All right, so there's our frothy, whitish egg yolk, and now we have our fat. Today we're using avocado oil. You can use bacon fat, you can use olive oil, you can use any type of fat that you want to use. Obviously, if you use like bacon fat, you're gonna have a bacon mayonnaise. I really like to use avocado oil when I'm making mayonnaise as opposed to olive oil. Olive oil, like when you use like Casandrino's olive oil, it's very flavorful, it's very fruity, it's delicious. That's almost something that you're not looking for with mayonnaise. With mayonnaise, you're looking for just kind of that basic mayonnaise flavor of the egg yolks, a little bit of salt, a little bit of vinegar. So I like to use kind of the lighter flavor oil. Now, if you're doing this in a bowl at home, what I recommend is that you take a wet towel and wind it up like this and wrap it around whatever you are going to be pouring the fat into, because you're not going to be able, you don't have 3 hands. So this will make sure that that doesn't spin around. Slowly drizzle in the oil. Every egg yolk can hold between 2 and 4 ounces of fat. So 3 egg yolks, you're going to use roughly 12 ounces of oil. So that's basically going to give you 2 cups of mayonnaise. And you can see it's thickening up. This is my favorite thing in culinary school, and it still makes me kind of giddy, the fact that you can get it to go all thick for you like that. You can hear the mixer struggling as it thickens up. So there you go. You can see you basically already have a nice thick mayonnaise, which is really cool. From here, the only other ingredients are a couple pinches of salt and a little bit of acid, and I like to use apple cider vinegar, but whatever you want. You can use red wine vinegar, champagne vinaigrette, or vinegar rather. There you go. Nice thick mayonnaise. Yes, the egg yolks that I used are raw. That's totally fine for you unless you're an infant or you have a very weak immune system. That's going to be totally fine. That'll stay fresh in the fridge for a week. I made a big batch earlier so I could do all the different dressings with you as well. So here's the mayonnaise that I made before. So again, you're going to take 3 egg yolks and 12 ounces of oil. You whip the egg yolks until they're nice and white, almost that color, that nice frothy white color, whitish yellow, and then slowly drizzle in the oil until it thickens up, and then add a little bit of salt and a little bit of vinegar, and there's house-made mayonnaise that's totally paleo and very, very good for you. I think my favorite dressing, maybe it's because I'm American or just I think everyone's favorite dressing, if they're being honest, is ranch. And that's another thing. It's like, oh, I can't have ranch dressing anymore. Well, no, you can't have store-bought ranch dressing anymore, but you can have homemade, which is totally paleo. So just take a little bit of mayonnaise. Now, typical ranch dressing recipe, you're going to get that little like tang, that little bit of a zing that you get in the back of your throat from it is from buttermilk. Now, we're not going to use buttermilk because it is paleo, but we are going to get that extra zing from acid, which we're going to use the apple cider vinegar for again. So here I have some bacon fat. This is just some melted bacon fat that we have from our Pete's Paleo bacon. Any sugar-free bacon fat that you're going to use is going to be fine for this. Again, you're whisking with a bowl, so your little wet towel trick is super handy with this as well. Just going to go ahead and get the bacon fat in there. And then we're going to add our apple cider vinegar. A couple tablespoons. It's all, again, this is all to taste too, so it's whichever one that you like better. So you can see it's starting to get nice and white. That starts to look like ranch dressing. Then we add in a couple tablespoons of fresh cut chives. And just like that, you've got bacon ranch dressing. Chicken wings, salad, whichever you prefer, it's all good. I'll rinse off my whisk real quick. If ranch dressing isn't your favorite sauce, your second favorite is probably going to be Thousand Island. I think most people think Thousand Island, they don't think that, oh, that's the sauce they really like. But if you've ever been in In-N-Out, that's the special sauce. The special sauce on a Big Mac, it's Thousand Island. So you really, really do like it, trust me. Again, the base, a few tablespoons of mayonnaise, you know, essentially however much dressing you want to make. So you can make one huge batch of mayonnaise, and then from there you can do the ranch dressing, the Thousand Island, and you can have all these sauces on hand at your house. What is Thousand Island? Unfortunately, it's not any more complicated than a little sugar-free ketchup, and some pickles. So I have some chopped pickles. Again, that's about a tablespoon of ketchup and a tablespoon of pickles to make roughly a cup of Thousand Island dressing. Mix that together. Does that look familiar? All this time it was just mayonnaise and ketchup and pickles. That's Million Island, Thousand Island, whatever you want to call it, special sauce dressing. And the coolest thing about culinary school is you learn how, you know, really simple and basic all this stuff is, and it's very eye-opening once you learn. So there you go. We just made a paleo mayonnaise, we made a bacon ranch dressing, and we made a Thousand Island all from scratch in less than 10 minutes or so. And all of this stuff is 100% paleo. It's 100% good for you, and you don't have to, you know, torture yourself when you're eating paleo. There's tons of sauces, there's tons of things that you can do, and that's what we really wanted to show you today. There's going to be, we can do a little Q&A if there's any questions that anybody has.
So Christy would like to know, I think this was a question about the ranch. Mm-hmm. If you add bacon fat, if the yolks can't hold all that fat, will it separate in storage?
It won't separate in a few days. There might be like a week where it might go by that it'll separate, but because you're adding the acid as well as the bacon fat, it kind of evens itself out, so it shouldn't separate on you. And even if it does, just throw it back into the blender with the stick blender and just give it a couple pulses, and it'll come right back together for you. Once you've whipped those eggs and they're nice and frothy and full of air, it's going to hold really, really well. Egg yolks are an incredible binder.
Just want to give a shout out to Cheryl from Texas.
What's up, Cheryl?
And Adele from Scotland.
The Adele? Hello.
And Marlene from Texas, and Marbara, and Susan has a question of, how do you make sugar-free ketchup?
You get crushed tomatoes, and you cook them, and you cook them, and you cook them, and then you strain them and push them through a strainer, and then you cook them, and you cook them, and you cook them. It's essentially, you can take a gallon of crushed tomatoes, some spices, and a little bit of cider vinegar, and cook it down until it's about 1/10 of its original volume, and that's ketchup.
Stephanie wants to know, what type of eggs do we use?
We use pastured eggs, just regular, you know, foraged on grass and bugs, and never eaten any soy or anything like that.
These are Vital Farms, but what is the brand that Certified Paleo recommends that we find at Vons?
At Vons, at Kroger.
Vons and Kroger.
Ralph's, if you're on the West Coast, Ralph's and Kroger are the same thing. It says Paleo approved on it. Karen's company. You can get those in the regular grocery store now, which is really cool.
Hey, Barbara from Kentucky and Ann from Australia. And
Awesome.
so Robin is asking if we know of any store-bought ranch dressing that doesn't have soybean oil in it. I'm not
Oh gosh, no.
sure.
There's not going to be any store-bought ranch dressing that isn't made with a lot of like dextrose, sugar, almost all sauces and dressings. That's the biggest reason why you can't buy sauces from the store when you start the amount of sugar that's in dressings. Like raspberry vinaigrette's the worst offender. I think it's sugar and raspberry puree and sugar.
Does Primal Kitchen make a mayo? I mean a ranch? I don't know.
I think Primal Kitchen just released a ranch dressing.
Yeah, so maybe
Oh, you know what?
maybe Robin, look at Primal Kitchen's line of dressings. What do you have there? Oh, there we go.
So I stand corrected. There now exists a
Primal Kitchen ranch dressing. There you go.
made with avocado oil.
Yep.
So probably a very similar process to what we did,
Thanks, Ann.
but no bacon fat. But other than that, probably very similar to what was happening with us.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Okie doke.
Awesome. Thanks again for checking us out. Again, my name is Pete Servold, and you can get our cookbook Paleo Eats for just the cost of shipping right now, and you can find the link to that in the comment section below. Thank you all so much. Have an awesome day.